Jenny, I want you to know that there's a song, I think it's a Laurie Berkner song. It's a kid's song. And it's like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off, another rocket ship is gone. And now every time you sync, you're like 5, 4, and I expect you to go 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, you want me to subdivide that back half?
Yeah.
Speed it up a little? Alas, that would throw everything into chaos unless we discussed it in advance. Hello and welcome to Buffering the Vampire Slayer, once more with spoilers, Watcher's Diary.
Wow, did you write it out for yourself so you wouldn't mess it up?
No.
It looks
I'm
like you're reading
still
it.
workshopping. I'm just looking. You're in the corner of my screen and I'm gazing upon you.
On my face, thinking,
You know
wow,
how it is.
What a hot young 45-year-old. I did this. Have you ever heard of a workout? I guess it's a DVD. It's old. It's called T25. Have you or anyone heard of T25?
I have not.
Okay, so it's something that Avanti did like back when you would buy a bunch of DVDs to do workouts. And today we were like, we're going to start it. We're going to do it. We've got a DVD. Yes, with Sean T. Yes, with Sean. I just met Sean today. Anyway, why was I telling you this? There was a reason why I was telling you about my workout, and I can't remember anymore, Jenny, because, I'm 45. Matt made me remember. So they're doing the workout, and, it's like classic setup. Like Sean, who's leading the workout, is sort of like doing some of it, walking around, and then there's like 2 girls and 2 guys, and they're all doing the workout in the room, and the video angles are changing. If you have lived through anything past the most recent timeline, you know what I'm talking about. And he goes up to one of the guys in the back and he's like, he's 45 and he's here doing this. And I was like, I'm 45. I'm also 45 and I am here doing this. So,
wow.
Anyway, yes, Shanti, who is gay and married to one of the 2 guys in the workout video, which makes it much more fun for me personally. Okay.
Great.
So anyway, we're doing a Watcher's Diary live. And everyone's hanging out in the chat. That's how I knew. Amy told me that it was Shanti, and I remembered. So thanks, Amy.
Okay.
I have a good amount, a healthy amount of emails that
we have a
in.
robust itinerary.
Well, I
have something for Kristin to watch that is extremely current. And it is going to knock her socks off, I think.
I'm wearing socks, so they will be knocked off.
Well, not for long.
I should say we are wearing socks on our shared pair of feet. What I was going to say is, in addition to lots of emails and our first ever live MST3K&J, nailed it. We are going to talk about women's baseball. All of the women's baseball I have not watched that Jenny has, but I highlighted the upcoming games. Don't worry. And then we're going to talk about Backrooms because I watched it.
Yes, and I now dimly recall seeing it. Months ago.
We are not going to talk about Cape Fear, Jenny, because, we are going to talk about Cape Fear in that I watched the first episode. I was sort of scared. And then every time I was like, I could watch this show again, I didn't want to watch the show again.
Okay.
I figured maybe I should follow my instincts.
Sure.
I would like to tell everyone, Jenny, about the exchange that my mom and I had about Cape Fear.
Please.
I asked Jenny, I texted Jenny, I said, would my mom like this? Because she was coming to stay with me and Sal for a few nights while Avanti was on tour. And Jenny was like, oh my God, yeah, she's going to do so much gasping. And so I was like, okay, Mom, my mom's still at her house. Mom, watch the first episode of the television show Cape Fear. It has Amy Adams in it, okay? Television show, Amy Adams, current show Cape Fear, okay? Watch the first episode, okay? So many things, so much information in the text. She says, okay. And then the next morning I woke up to a text that said, I never saw Amy Adams. I'm not sure I watched the right thing. I still actually don't know which version my mom watched. I'm assuming she watched the movie from the 90s, but I don't know. And the woman, it's like a 2 hour, you know what I mean? Like, how do you... Anyway, so we didn't watch
It's not
Cape
a
Fear.
show. Amy Adams isn't in it.
Oh, God. Well, I want to talk about Backrooms, and I really don't. I will start by saying it scared the shit out of me. I watched the first half hour at nighttime by myself because Avanti was like, you know what? I'm done with you and horror. And then I was like, I can't watch this again at night. Like, it's my kind of horror. And I will tell you, so my sister used to do this thing very recently where she showed me this video on Instagram and she was like, watch this. It's like liminal space something. And I watched like a half a second of it and was like, fuck you. I literally never want to see that again. And so for like months, my sister would just like walk up to me and like hold up her phone and it would be like a liminal space video. And I hated it. It's just, I don't know. It does something bad to me. So I was telling my sister, you really should watch this movie. It's like, I don't know. It's like those liminal space videos that you're always making me watch, but also like House of Leaves, but also like David Lynch, like all of this shit that you love is like in it. And then I was reading a bit about the movie, Jenny. And liminal space was a word that was a phrase literally used in it. And I was proud of myself.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you think that we're going to spoil stuff in talking about it? We probably will, right?
I wouldn't really know how to talk about it without spoiling some things.
Yeah. So I'm going to say that, and that's okay. We will put if you're listening to this after, we'll put timestamps in the podcast notes if you haven't seen it yet and you don't want to be spoiled on anything. I personally do not think that you can like spoil I don't think that you could like lessen the engagement with the film by knowing about it. I like personally, but Amy in the chat and anyone else who's watching, we will both do this for a little while once we're done talking about Backrooms. Okay. And I'll even put it in the chat if you want to watch the chat. And in the podcast, if you're listening to this, we'll just put the timestamps in. It's a little easier for you. Anyway, so we're beginning. Mute us if you don't want to be spoiled for Backrooms. Okay. So this was genius, terrifying. This was made by like a 21-year-old or something, right?
It was 20 when it came out, Kane Parsons.
Yeah.
And Kristin, I can't remember, did you get an opportunity to pregame with the sort of collection of online videos?
No, I knew that they existed, but I didn't. I actually went in knowing nothing. And like I was saying, I, in retrospect, don't think it would have mattered because I think that like this is the kind of horror where it's not necessarily what's going to happen that's scaring you, like narrative wise, plot wise. It's more just like the vibe that everything is askew and wrong. And persistently that way. That is what is so scary about it. It's so like haunting, I think. But no, I did not watch the shorts.
So for anybody who's listening and interested, especially if you saw Backrooms or you're thinking about seeing it, Kane Parsons started making serialized videos that don't necessarily follow like, it's not like a traditional narrative, but it is sort of these vignettes that all center around the same thing that the film centers around. And he started making them when he was 14 years old. You can find them compiled on YouTube. It's about like 3 hours total watch time. And I watched
this is like a creepypasta thing, right? Yeah.
And I watched the first half of it and then I kind of ran out of time and Jess watched the full thing and kind of filled me in before we went to see the movie in theaters. And it's just kind of not like anything I've seen before, but like both. You know what I mean? Like I was really happy that I had watched what this young mind had conceived of.
Yeah.
And executed, like, I think very masterfully. Like parts of it look fantastic. Like it's all good. Some of it is like deliberately looks like VHS footage,
right.
You know, is degraded and analoged. But I'm really glad that I got to see kind of what you might consider proof of concept, like what he got signed,
right?
Like what led to the contract that made this film exist.
That got the budget to do
exactly,
more with it. Yeah, it was so it was so haunting and so smart and so like, there's some of the visual. So for those of you who don't know anything about it, essentially it's, what is it? They make fun of it in Scream 5, like elevated horror or whatever.
Yes,
right?
Elevated horror.
So it's like, this guy is going to therapy. We see some backstory of the therapist and we hear some backstory of his life, right? And so like, okay, he finds a doorway to Backrooms and
in the basement of his furniture store.
And obviously, like, right, you don't have to you don't have to think too hard to think like about what the metaphor is, right? Like this is the inside of his mind and blah, blah, blah. There are some visuals that like a stop sign that's like the reflection of a stop sign, right? But it's like standing there, but it says pots instead of stop. And the way that like there's this 1 or 2 segments where they sort of flip almost like one of those viewfinders that you used to use as a kid, where you'd like pull the thing and then it would change the scene. But it's sort of just changing the room and changing the room and changing the room. And like there are items that are like half sunk into the carpet. And just I spent some time when I was watching it thinking about how you conceptualize this. Like what are you doing to sort of find a specific visual to make me feel this feeling that I'm pretty sure everybody else has the same feeling, right? Like it just makes you feel a way that I think is universal, but can only be done in a very specific way.
Yeah. It's this sort of very specific unease.
Yeah.
And it is interesting because I feel like a lot of what you see, in Clark's initial explorations, like I feel like there is like sort of, it's all kind of like iterations of the same kind of thing, like even though it's using different like objects, but like you're kind of like just seeing this one idea kind of rolled around and explored and expanded on. And then there's kind of like, to me, a turning, like a pretty significant turning point, like a big pivot in the middle of the movie. It is like expecting.
Exactly in the middle, because I think I know what you mean, because I was texting my sister like, you should watch this, and then I was like, oh, it just got like fully off the rails. You definitely need to watch it. And when I paused it, it was like I had watched like 55 minutes and I had like 54 to go. It was almost right in the center.
Yeah. And just before that pivot, I feel like Clark starts encountering things that feel a little bit different, like a little more intense, a little stranger.
Yeah.
And a little more like unique.
Yeah.
And then you get this big pivot and then things are, as you say, pretty wild. And I think my favorite part, so I loved this movie for the same reasons that I love like nearly anything, is that I'm like, wow, you didn't have to do that much of all the stuff that people feel like they have to do to make something good. You just had to do the thing you wanted to do pretty perfectly. Like you don't need all this other stuff, all this, like these bells and whistles and big plot lines and complicated. You don't even need like a shit ton of dialogue. Like if you know what the fuck you are doing and you do it precisely, it works. And that is why I love this. Yeah, go ahead, Jenny. I was just going to say, like, I feel like in this age of sort of like IP rinse and repeat, like it is so refreshing to see something, even like I feel like reviews like were largely positive, but they were like I got on the Backrooms related subreddits for like I like joined them for like 2 days, and then I was like, these spaces are simply not for me.
Yeah.
And there are definitely some people who like did not enjoy the film, and that is completely fine. But like whether you enjoyed it or not, I feel like you can't. It would be, I think, disingenuous to try to say like there wasn't, an original idea here.
Right.
Like, and I feel like what's also interesting, like having watched the shorts series and then this, like Kane wrote and directed the shorts, and then someone else wrote this film and Kane directed it. And I'm sure that they were like very collaborative about like what's going to happen. But like there is this very human, emotional narrative element that does not appear in the shorts. The shorts are more like atmospheric and like revolve around data and like draw your own conclusions, you know, kind of stuff. And I appreciate kind of both sides of that coin, like getting to see kind of two emotionally different explorations of this idea and world.
Yeah, I thought that I was actually kind of surprised at the amount of story that wound up being in the film, like sort of like at the back half, because the first half, it was just sort of like, oh, we're just going to go for this. Like we're exploring a mind and it's wild in here. But before we move along to things that are not back rooms, and Jenny, you might have more to say too, but I just wanted to say that there's a part, and it's like towards the end, but it doesn't really matter where it falls, I don't think, in the film. And you're sort of seeing other humans in the space, but they're sort of, I don't even know how to, it's like a printer got jammed kind of like in the making of the person, you know? And so they have like 3 sets of eyes or, What were you going to say?
I was just going to say they're called still lifes.
Still lifes. Okay, cool.
Script.
I thought visually it was genius. I just thought it was done so well. And B, Clark's explanation of them in saying like, yeah, they're here the way that we basically remember them, right? Like they're in our minds somewhere, but they're not like complete. I just thought, I have like the chills saying it because I thought it was so fucking haunting and like accurate in a way that of course isn't accurate. Like I'm not remembering somebody with 3 sets of eyes, but also I am. Like it just was fucking, and that was the part that really reminded me of House of Leaves in some way. Like I don't know, but I loved it. I loved it.
I'm so glad you loved it. I also wanted to say that Kane Parsons also composed the score for the original shorts and collaborated with a composer on the score for the film. Which like it's pretty wild to see so much happening under one roof. But also really cool that other people came in and the collaboration was so cool, like was able to be, you know, so full and interesting in spite of the fact that like this is all coming from somebody who probably feels like I can do all of this, but is also open to working with others.
Allie in the chat said about Backrooms, the bigger imagination you have, the scarier it is. And I think like that's generally how I feel about a lot of things where I'm like, I can't, as at first I was kind of mad at you, Jenny, like for telling me to watch it. So the minute I started, I was like, oh no, this is the kind of shit that will fuck with me. You know, like this will fuck with me. It made me think about, because it really made me think of my sister a lot. And there was one time in California, I may have already talked about this on a podcast, and I don't know if you remember, Jenny, but it was like me and you, and then my sister and her partner, then Brian, and we were all in our living room, and the television just like went wonky and made this noise that was very bizarre. And Brian and you, Jenny, were like, fine. You were like, oh, the television must be making a noise. But my sister and I, without looking at each other or speaking, both hit the deck. Like we literally just like dropped to our knees and we're like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? I'm like, that shit scares me. So
I just wanted to tell you also, Kristin and listeners, this is not spoilerific. This is just anecdotal from Backrooms subreddits about people's movie-going experiences. The characters in the film, like when they find sort of the passage, because it's invisible, the passage to the backrooms, they tape it off so they like can find the doorway. Yeah. And people were like rolling up to movie theaters and seeing just like doorways taped on the sides of the buildings. And there's a cardboard cutout of a guy who kind of reminded, like, I just thought of like,
be careful, like, Jenny, because we're outside of spoilers.
There's just a cardboard cutout of a guy who reminded me of Tormund. Okay. And people were like going into the movies, like they went in to the theater and saw that cardboard cutout like somewhere in the lobby. And when they came out, it was like just someone else.
No, fuck that. Oh, all right. I'm going to take us on a sharp turn, although it isn't sharp if you're Jenny Owen Youngs, because she loves both Backrooms and Love Island. And I have an email. I'm going to enter email zone for a moment here.
Love Island email?
This is a Love Island email. You thought you were done. but you're
Never.
not. This is from Crispy Gin, #1 Billy the Vampire Slayer fan. Love that. Dear Buffering, since watching all of Love Island was a time sink I could not commit myself to, I've been getting all of my updates through select snippets fed by my algorithm. It correctly surmised that I wanted to see the girth check moment multiple times and through you. There was a glaring lack of updates concerning my, and I suspect many people's, favorite couple, namely Zach and Bryce. Please let me know how things ended up with them.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so I have not followed too much since the end, since the season ended. I have to assume that they're continuing their bromance because there was a lot of chat between their partners, Kata and Trinity, about their whole like that was just like it was a touchstone throughout the season, a through line. Everyone knows that the true OTP of this season of Love Island was Bryce and Zach.
Bryce?
But
Zeiss?
Yeah, Zeiss. Zeiss is good. I think their partners are supportive and it's beautiful.
I love that.
Zach is like not a lot of people's fave, but I think Bryce liking him makes him more likable. It's also just like, you think, wow, I'm watching 6 episodes a week of this show. I must be seeing everything. But, you know, you're seeing 1/24th less a day or whatever of what's going on. So I think that like kind of anecdotally, a lot of the cast members, a lot of the Islanders post-season were saying like, you didn't see everything. A narrative is definitely being, you know, edited to some degree. So like some people took issue with some of the ways that Zach behaved in relationship with his partner. So like,
right.
You know,
I love the sort of like, which one are you in the gay couple? The one that everyone likes or the one that everyone likes because you're with them? Just try it on for size, guys. Have fun with that. Discuss it with your partner. It'll go great.
I don't like that.
All right. You want another email?
I'm ready.
I have a lot. I'm going to read one that really hit my heartstrings because we've been, you know, having a horror time and a silly time. Okay. This is from Gus, our listener, Gus. And it's about, we've been airing this summer, we've been doing encore broadcasts of episodes from the past. So the email was titled Sparks. And Gus says, it's been wonderful to revisit with you some of your older special guest episodes here over the early summer. They all bring something special to the table, but the one with Rishikesh is particularly striking and honestly almost unbelievable in hindsight. At the time, I don't think I realized it was genuinely the first time you'd met. Now, years later, and knowing the work you guys have done together since, it's the only thing I can think about. You can actually hear a friendship forming, the chemistry clicking into place, the three of you feeding off of each other. It's so rare and powerful to witness a spark that seems so natural and symbiotic. The repeat episodes remind me a little bit of who I was at the time and the role that buffering played in both making me feel part of a community of like-minded persons, even if I was remote, online, and distant, which I struggle to find in real life, but also in educating me and entertaining me. Listening back, I realized I was focused on consumption. I was absorbing your content, learning, taking it all in, which is what I think I certainly needed back then. What strikes me in listening to the episode with Rishikesh now, many years later, is that I also need to put myself out more and contribute more. That's how sparks like that get created, what you guys have achieved by putting yourselves out there. Isn't it funny how the same episode can have 2 very different kinds of impacts across the years? Just wanted to say how special the episode feels, and thanks for letting us witness that spark.
Can I just say, how dare you?
I know! It's so nice! So thank you, Gus. It's really,
oh my
really
goodness.
Something.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Jenny, how are you feeling about moving into season 3? Speaking of like things hitting differently, 10 almost 10 years later to cover the season again.
I'm like listening to the encore episodes that we have been broadcasting this summer. Like I keep just being shocked at how bursting forth we sound. We are just like so full of excitement to talk about the show. And now I feel like we have developed between us as, podcasters and ex-wives, a very specific rhythm that is, unique to us, to our relationship. And also like the way that we think and talk about television and story has changed quite a bit. And also the world is in some ways alarmingly similar and in other ways alarmingly different. And then in other ways, good.
The Socrates of our generation,
Yeah, and we are parents. We are divorced. I am still in the bloom of youth. You are now 45.
I am. Well, what I was gonna say was that it's like, it's like there's you watch Buffy and you're like, wow, Buffy is so hot. Or like whoever your pick is. And then you watch it again and you're like, wow, Giles is so hot. It's like,
right.
Like era 1, we were just like bloom of youth. Look at them go. Wow. And now we're like, we've got a few wrinkles. We're leaning against the wall. We don't care as much. And we're that kind of cool and hot,
Wow. Kristin's sticking to the story that we're cool and hot.
Jenny said it as a joke, and I was like, correct. Moving forward.
Oh, man. I mean, I think that something that, just to put my vulnerability on display here, like there is a certain level of insecurity that like creeps up the back of my spine when I listen to those older episodes, and I'm like, oh, are we not... should we be like that? Like, we're not like that anymore. Does anyone like this?
Yeah. And I think that, like, in some ways, I think that there were strengths to being like, whoa. And I think that there are strengths to being like, hey, like that they both bring different things to different people at different times. I support never striving to be what we once were,
That is a good thing to think about. I was reading an Instagram caption.
Also, somebody in the chat said, we are 10 years older too.
Oh, yeah. But then what's cool is that like we have 1.0 and we have 2.0, and you can go to either zone or both zones or go back and forth. It's really always so exciting when someone writes or like somebody comes up to me at a show or something and says like, I just found the podcast. I'm like, how? Right? How did you find it now? That's like doesn't even make sense. We absolutely tanked our SEO by
this
making
is
the
Jenny's
buffering
narrative
feed, by turning the buffering feed into the X-Files feed and then eventually turning it back into the buffering feed. Everything's fine.
Sometimes I get on the phone with Jenny to like record a podcast and there'll be a long pause and she'll just be like, remember when we renamed our entire feed? I'm like, I just imagine you like sitting up at 3 a.m. being like, God, why did we do it?
Yeah. But also everything's fine. Everything's fine.
I keep saying.
Everything's fine. Wait, I feel like I had a point way back when I started talking.
Well, it's only a few months before you two are 45.
I know. I got to get my hot takes and razor sharp points in while I still can. We are here now doing what we do. And you can experience us you can become unstuck in time.
Yeah, you can.
And experience us all over the place. Oh, what I was going to say is I read an Instagram caption recently. I was reading a report.
Yeah, one of your reports, sure.
And the report included something that Adrienne Lenker was being quoted, the singer of Big Thief and also the singer of Adrienne Lenker. And she was saying, when you see an old tree that is like huge and majestic and has been growing for its whole life and changing and becoming bigger and like sheltering more of the ground beneath it and everything, you're like, wow, that's amazing and beautiful. And then I feel like our culture maybe encourages us to look at ourselves and have kind of the opposite reaction when we see indications that we are not as we once were.
Right.
And how could anyone be?
Right.
And I've been trying to think of myself as an old tree lately. I guess that was my point.
Yeah.
What a hot old tree.
Oh my God. Now, see, some people were saying we should have shirts that say cool and hot, but I think hot old tree is actually...
Well, I think it's the natural talent 1080 PhD
2.0
dichotomy, right?
Yeah.
Like Kristin is cool and hot shirt. Jenny is hot old tree shirt.
Oh, would you like another email, Jennifer?
I love emails. All
right, I'm going to let you pick, okay? I've got a decently length email about, let's see, how can I tell you what this is about? Because I don't have the subject. It's about Scully not believing in extraterrestrial life as a scientist, something that we recently discussed in the X-Files.
Okay.
And I also have an email that is a question about the Xena theme song. And I can read them both, or I can read one, and I can read them in whatever order you choose.
Okay, let's do it in that order. Scully, Xena.
Okay. Scully, Xena. So the Scully email is from Jenny, our listener, Jenny. Not you, Jenny. It's not from you, I don't think. The email is, first of all, Jenny's happy that I'm enjoying Xena. But
I'm also happy that. Are you sure it's not from me?
Yeah, maybe it is from you. Anyway, they continue. I wanted to write in specifically about your query in the last episode of the X-Files, which was War of the Coprophages at the time. I don't even know where we are now. Syzygy goes up this week, so maybe it is still the last episode. Who cares? Regarding Scully's extreme and constant skepticism about the likelihood of life on other planets, because it's something that's always annoyed me. Her blanket disavowal on this subject is actually very unscientific. Scully may not have a background in astronomy, but I find it hard to believe she's never heard of the Drake equation. Do you know about the Drake equation, Jenny?
Desperately trying to quickly think of a Drake lyric that has to do with numbers.
I also did.
I've got 2 mortgages. 40 million in total, 30 million in total. I've got 2 mortgages, 30 million in total. Can you believe that lyric has just been living in my head rent free? Although I am a little uncertain about the exact
mortgage
number
amount
of 10 millions.
In the chat,
he's just like, I have mortgages.
Hotline,
he's such a
hotline
dork.
bling for aliens.
Yeah.
Why would you have mortgages if you had that much money?
Well, because if you struck while the iron was hot and your mortgage interest rate is lower than the return you could be making on that money if you have it invested elsewhere, then, I mean...
Wow. Okay, well, let me tell you about the actual Drake equation, okay?
I can't recommend the personal finance subreddit enough.
The Drake equation, Jenny, not Owen Young's, continues, is a probabilistic equation for estimating the number of extraterrestrial civilizations just in the Milky Way galaxy with technology that can be detected by humans. Astronomer Frank Drake created it in 1961, and though I'm in no way a scientist or expert on this topic, I do a lot of pleasure reading on the subject. All of the astronomers and astrophysicists always say it's the second most important and famous equation after Einstein's E = mc squared.
Whoa, that's a famous equation.
The Drake equation cannot actually be solved for a specific knowable answer because we don't know the specific values for all variables going into it. That's why it's probabilistic. I could try to explain all the variables, but here's a link. I'll put it in the show notes and I'll put it in the chat to a very succinct and easy to follow explanation. And here's Carl Sagan's second link, everyone's favorite astronomy daddy. Mostly I just wanted to say astronomy daddy.
Totally.
Explaining how it can be estimated in different ways. And so, the email continues to basically say, at the very least, Scully would be aware of this equation, like there would be some science to it. I'm just going to read the last paragraph here. What Mulder and Scully really should be arguing about are the specific variables they disagree over in the Drake equation. Mulder is all up in that due to being a UFO guy, and Scully is a scientist. It would be so much more real if they were to at least reference it. Thank you for your email, Jenny.
Starting or growing your own business can be intimidating and lonely at times. Your to-do list may feel endless with new tasks, and lists can easily begin to overrun your life. So finding the right tool that not only helps you out, but simplifies everything as a built-in business partner can be a game changer. For millions of businesses, that tool is Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US. From household names like Gymshark, Rare Beauty, and Heinz, to brands just getting started. Shopify has hundreds of ready-to-use templates that can help you build a beautiful online store that matches your brand's style. And you can tackle all the important tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics and more. No need to save multiple websites or try to figure out what platform is hosting the tool that you need. And if people haven't heard about your brand, you can get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you, with easy-to-run email and social media campaigns to reach customers wherever they're scrolling or strolling. Start your business today with the industry's best business partner, Shopify, and start hearing. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. That's shopify.com/realm.
The war is over, and both sides lost. Kingdoms were reduced to cinders, and armies scattered like bones in the dust. Now the survivors claw to what's left of a broken world, praying the darkness chooses someone else tonight. But in the Shadow Dark, the darkness always wins. This is old school adventuring at its most cruel. Your torch ticks down in real time, and when that flame dies, something else rises to finish the job. This is a brutal rules-light nightmare with a story that emerges organically based on the decisions that the characters make. This is what it felt like to play RPGs in the 80s, and man, it is so good to be back. Join the Glass Cannon podcast as we plunge into the Shadow Dark every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/theglasscannon, with the podcast version dropping the next day. See what everybody's talking about and join us in the dark.
From the parents behind Law & Order comes a mystery the whole family can enjoy. Patrick Picklebottom Everyday Mysteries. Step into the whimsical world of Patrick Picklebottom, a precocious 11-year-old with a love for reading and an uncanny ability to solve mysteries. Inspired by the beloved children's book of the same name, this podcast vividly brings Patrick's tales of deduction and everyday adventures to life as he unravels baffling enigmas and solves clever cases. Patrick Picklebottom Everyday Mysteries is perfect for kids and is just as entertaining for grown-ups who love a good mystery. The whole family can listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
Did I tell you a conversation that I had about aliens recently?
No, it wasn't with me.
It wasn't with you. It was with someone that I know. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't know why I'm protecting his identity, because he's not anyone you would know. Like he's someone I know locally. And we were like
a person,
having a
Tori
conversation.
Said. A person,
exactly. We were having a conversation about like space. And he just like started unleashing some like pretty intriguing ideas.
So she's really walking a fine line here, folks.
He just like, in a very matter-of-fact way, he was like, oh, well, the moon was built. The moon was built by extraterrestrials, and there are military bases under the surface, and they've been there for a long time, and we have had different countries on planet Earth have had contracts with different races of alien.
Whoa.
And he was like, he gave me a number. It was like somewhere, I think in the 50s or 60s. He was like, there are 50 or 60 different species of alien who have taken up residence on planet Earth, but they live in volcano tubes. They have like underground civilizations in volcano tubes. And I am, of course, my eyes are dinner platters. And I'm like, please go on. How have I never heard any of this? Because he was like talking like in a way that like these theories or ideas or whatever would be pretty commonplace.
Right. Like third most known thing after E equals MC squared in the Drake equation.
Exactly. I was like, whoa.
Somebody in the chat said the hesitation makes sense now. Like your hesitation in like getting to the delivery of what?
Well, it's like there was just like a lot going on, and I was very happy to be receiving it. But one thing that he told me that really connects with our conversations since we've started covering the X-Files. You know how we're always talking about lava and quicksand not becoming a big part of our lives the way that we thought as children in the 90s they would?
Yes.
And that like alien abduction was like very top of mind and like a big conversation point. It was just like kind of everywhere in the 90s. Well, he told me that the species of alien that was conducting those abductions had a contract that has now run out.
So they can't. Lava, the PR on lava and quicksand is just. Wow.
So they're not allowed to abduct, I don't know, U.S. citizens anymore. But there is a different contract, a different kind of contract that's like for contacting. You can make contact, but you cannot abduct.
Wild. I can't believe you just sat and were a part of this conversation in real life.
I know. I want to know more. He actually gave me some...
Be careful, Jenny.
Some...
Be careful.
He gave me some things to check out, and I'm going to do some more research and perhaps report back to you at our next Watcher's Diary. But Kristin, sorry, I meant to say back when we were wrapping up Backrooms, if you're not going to watch Cape Fear, and I can respect that, even though I heartily think you should watch it because it is a absolute hoot.
I will try to get my mom back on board because I do think watching it with my mom would be absolutely epic.
Your mom would just be the perfect audience, and you didn't even get to Juliette Lewis.
No, I didn't. And so what I'll say is this. You know what? Unfortunately for me, but fortunately for perhaps Cape Fear, the television series, my wife will be going on tour again. And my mom will probably come and stay with me for some of that time. So we'll try again. But you can say whatever you want to say at this point.
I actually was just going to say, if you're not going to watch that, could you please swear a sacred oath to go see The Odyssey?
Yes.
So we can talk about it.
Yes, I will see The Odyssey. The other day, we were just having a chat like pals, and it was like you were talking to me, but Jess was like fluttering about in the kitchen or whatever. And you were like, blah, 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 The Odyssey. And I was like, what's that? And like the whole room, like I could feel everyone just like stop and freeze in the kitchen in Maine.
Yeah. And that is...
I'm not on the internet. I don't know what it is.
And it's because that's how you're living that the specimen that I have for today's MST3K&J is, I know that it will take you by surprise, and I cannot wait.
Okay, great. All right, well, let me tell you what else is on the agenda for today, and you can decide if we're going there next.
Okay.
I've got an email or two more. We have not talked about women's baseball. And then I think really all we have, unless there's something really pressing in the chat, is MST3K&J and hopefully a pet sound if you have one to share with us.
Yes. Okay. I think we should leave the MST3K&J as the finale because it is wild.
Okay.
Okay. WPBL?
Baseball? Yeah. Let's
Women's Professional Baseball League, baby. The first time in 70 years that there's been a women's professional baseball league, and I am loving it. It's really cool. For those of you who are totally unsported or just like not paying attention or unaware, whatever, it's like maybe it's not your thing, whatever. Just to give you like a little bit of context, this is the inaugural season of the WPBL. For this first season, it's a 6-week season. All the games are taking place in Springfield, Illinois. And there are 4 teams to start. There are the Boston Hunters, the New York Heights, the LA Queens, and the San Francisco Firebells. Each team name is inspired by a different woman who did something cool in history. And I'm just going to say it. The Boston Hunters have the best branding. They've got a sick little
It's interesting that you live really close to Boston.
I'm relieved. I do think that the Queens also have sick home and away. The thing about like New York, I feel like one of their 2 uniform variants looks good and the other one... Actually,
that's just like you to think my team is like 50% great and your team is 100.
Your team has the best hitter in the league. Your team has the player who has hit more home runs since the season began than any of the other teams combined have hit home runs.
That one that was standing doing a little move on the streets of New York.
I sent Kristin
we talked
a reel
about this somewhere, but I guess it's in the X-Files feed because maybe it's in a Xena episode or something. Whatever, we can repeat ourselves.
Well, we'll repeat ourselves because today is worth it. I sent Kristin a reel of Danae Benitez just like showing off, I think, her jersey or full uniform, and Kristin like melted into a puddle of ooze and was like, that was so gay, now I'm straight.
Yeah. Somehow that made me straight. Like on the chart like of gay, I was like all the way up here off the screen. Then I watched that video and was like, oh, I am no longer gay, I guess. I also sent Jenny a picture of Melisandre from Game of Thrones, like after she turns into a 1500-year-old
when she's like, I'm 1,000
woman. And I was like, and this is like also how I felt while I was holding the phone and I just turned into this.
I mean, what's wild is that Danae was picked in the second round of the draft. Every single team had the opportunity to pick her first, and none of them did. Just incomprehensible.
That's some New York energy, you know? Ashley, our listener Ashley in the chat, got to go to, I think, one of the first games, if not the first game, in person. Ashley, I think you live in Chicago, right? So close enough to go. And also Jill in the chat said, my dad said the New York logo looks like it's giving the middle finger, and now I like it so much more.
It does.
Hell yeah.
It does.
I promised Jenny that I would, because I was supposed to be watching the at least New York-Boston games, and I have miserably failed, and I'm very embarrassed and ashamed of myself. But I took a screenshot of the schedule, and then I used markup to highlight the 3 games that I'm going to be watching, and they all happen to be evening games. Are they all evening games? They're not, right?
Except on Saturdays. I think Saturday they do doubleheaders, and then it's night games the rest of the week, I believe. They're off Monday and Tuesday.
You told me. What is the name of the mascot of the team, of all the teams?
Oh my gosh, it's Mabel. I can never remember her last name. I always want to say Evans, but what is it? Blair. It's Mabel Blair.
Mabel Blair.
Sorry.
You were like, you know that she's like the mascot for all the teams. I was like, yeah, because I had seen pictures of her, like actual her, with some of the players. And then the other day I saw the mascot and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that they had made like a proper mascot of her. Incredible. The marvelous Miss Mabel. Yeah.
I know it's not accessible to everyone, but as Ashley is saying in the chat, the games, I think they are on YouTube outside of the United States, but in the United States, they are on ESPN something plus pro. So whatever, the ESPN, like
ESPN gay.
Their streaming app. No, it's the regular one. But like if you can get on board for this, you know, now we're probably down to 4.5 weeks. If you can get on board and support the league by subscribing and watching those games, I think that's probably like valuable
I'm sure it is
data for them to be able to take and like hopefully make next season even bigger.
It's just like, I mean, I support that and I agree, and we will be subscribing for that reason, but like I also feel like you can get metrics by making it free that you can't get by paywalling it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can only measure the amount of people who can pay to watch the thing that they want to watch. You can't measure all the people that want to watch it. So
Right.
You know.
Mandy in the chat is also saying they have a free streamer that shows live. Which
tell us more, Mandy.
I don't know anything about. They did sell out of their initial merch launch in a day.
Yeah.
That's like hours.
I really want some merch, but I have to earn it. I have to watch at least 2 games to earn merch. That's how I feel.
It was really exciting to watch the 2 Boston-New York games because in the first game, New York was leading until like by a lot. It was like 7-2 or 7-0 or something. And then Boston came back in the 6th inning to get ahead of them and won. And then the next game, they had kind of the same thing where New York was leading. Then Boston caught up to tie it just in time for the end of the game. So they had to go into an extra inning. New York got, I think, a few runs in the extra inning. And then Boston like got the bases loaded with like 1 out. It was like, oh, this could be something, and then like they weren't able to make it happen. But it just felt really watching Boston lose their 2 prior games before they played New York. I was like, well, this is what being a Boston sports fan feels like a lot of the time. It feels authentic, and then getting to see those like really exciting.
That's
rivalry
the baseball,
games.
like that. I have a hard time with watching baseball generally because it is not often like that. And the games of baseball that I've seen that have been like that, I'm like, this I could do, like that's exciting. But that means that we're 1-1 Boston, New York. And I know we're not necessarily in competition with each other, but we are. So we have 3 games left, according to my highlighted
New York and Boston games.
Yeah. And so let's just see how it goes,
Let's just see how it goes. It's like, it's also very cool that like, because they're just getting started and there's only 4 teams, like so far we've watched every game and we've been able to like kind of see the story of the season unfolding entire. And a lot of these players, because the world of women's baseball and the opportunities that are available in the world of women and baseball together are, it's kind of a narrow field. A lot of these players know each other, have played on other teams in like different kinds of leagues together before. It's just like really cool. Like even when teams are losing, like there's like friendships and relationships and everyone's kind of like supporting each other regardless of the outcomes of the games. It's just very beautiful and cool.
I'm pretty sure that, and I love that. And you just inspired me because you were like, a lot of them have played with each other. And I don't know if I'll be able to find the email because I didn't put it in my feed, but our listener, Stephanie, wrote in and said, I simply could not say anything after listening to your sports detour in the most recent Watcher's Diary episode. Having been a lifelong not sports person, my recent conversion to being a huge fan of the Professional Women's Hockey League has been a trip. It's so much fun. The vibes are fantastic. Here in my hometown of Ottawa, there is a fan who regularly brings a Let's Go Lesbian sign to the games. It's exploding in popularity. New York and Boston are well represented by the Sirens and the Fleet, respectively. And then Stephanie attached an important informational graphic, though it's now out of date because so many people got married or engaged this summer, and there are a few new teams. It is called The Chart. If you know, you know. Blue is dating, pink is engaged, and here, let me see if I can actually download this and show you all. But I will attempt to link this somewhere for those listening at home, and this will be a great practice for me to share my screen.
Oh, good.
Let's see, we just want to share that content. I don't need to share sound this time. Jenny, can you see just the chart?
Yes.
It's pretty epic. There's a lot. And so you saying to me, also, you can tell that this is a screenshot of a story on Instagram because up at the top it says Betty the L Word theme.
Oh my God.
Playing behind this chart. But you saying a lot of them had played together before made me think, yeah, and probably more than just that, and if we can take hockey, women's hockey as a template, there's a lot going on.
Well, I can tell you that the WPBL is statistically gayer than the WNBA in terms of out players.
Love it.
All right, are you ready for a pet sound?
Am I what? Ready for a pet sound? You're going to do a pet sound in the middle? Sure.
Oh, sorry. In the middle of what?
I don't know.
I thought we were going to do this and then a pet sound and then...
we're rounding the band. Okay, make sure I don't have anything else to tell you.
Are we missing any important notes?
Oh, well, we never went back to the Xena question, which I'm sure you can answer with some...
Oh, yes.
Some succinctness. This is from Avery. I was wondering who is singing on the Xena ululating intro song. It sounds to my ears like Jenny starts, but then at least one female singer and a male singer join through the duration. Are there any names we'd recognize in the mix? So go ahead and tell them the answer, and then I'll tell them what happened here in the Russo Govender household.
So in the actual Xena Warrior theme music, Joseph LaDuca used singers from recordings of singers in the Bulgarian women's choir, I believe they're called. And he kind of like took existing traditional pieces and kind of wove them into the theme song, and then they sometimes appear in other pieces of score in the show. And so I was like, if only I had a Bulgarian choir when I was like trying to make some music for our pod. And sometimes I use, when I need a sound that I don't have access to, there are a few things that I might try. I have, banks of samples that I can sometimes deploy that I just own, that are on a hard drive. Variety of instruments and voices and things doing things. Sometimes I might use a virtual instrument, which is like kind of, you use a MIDI controller and you load a bank and then you kind of play it via a keyboard by triggering those samples of like the corresponding notes or the corresponding sound, etc. Or sometimes I use a platform called Splice, which is a massive sample bank. And they've got so much stuff that it's kind of sometimes difficult to find exactly what you're looking for. But I was like, what if I just try searching for samples of a Bulgarian choir? And I found a handful of samples, maybe like 8 or 10 in one key. And then you have like kind of like within these larger sample banks, you have like, okay, if you're working in A major, here's a bunch of stuff. If you're working in a B minor, here's a bunch of stuff. So I kind of like zeroed in on a key, and then I like listened to all of the singing and kind of took things. I took like, I think 3 different takes. And it just starts with one, and then I kind of add in another underneath that as the theme progresses, and then I believe I add in a third right at the end. So they are voices of people I've never met.
It's like you made a collage, but of vocal samples.
Right. Was that? Kristen, do you feel like I explained that?
I understood.
Helpfully?
I understood. And I think if I understood, the answer is yes.
Okay, cool.
When Jenny sent it to me, I was like, oh my God, you got Jess to record with you. That's so awesome. And Jenny was like, no. And I was like, damn, that sounded a lot like Jess. And then Avanti heard it, and she was like, oh my God, did Jess sing on that? And I was like, that's what I said. There is a voice in that Bulgarian choir that sounds like Jess's voice. I'm committed to this.
Just wild.
Now, that's a perfect segue into a pet sound, which Jenny will now perform by compiling clips and collaging them together.
Kristin, our listener Lauren wrote in, hello, here is my very cute kitty cat, Marms. His name is already a nickname in itself. It's a contraction of my arms, which was said often when my husband and I first started rock climbing many years ago. Marms is how I imagine it.
Yeah.
But we tell most people it's short for marmalade. But I do have to explain even more of his nicknames for my pet sounds to make sense.
Great.
Marms led to Marmosita, Marmachita.
Of course.
So we started calling him Cheetah, Cheat, Keat, etc., which led to Cheetah Lote, which led to variations of Lote, Lote Boat, etc. There are 2 different compositions in the scope of this pet sound email. The first is, my first song is actually a chant from the movie Bring It On. I know how Jenny loves cheerleading. So true.
Her favorite thing.
From the scenes where the toros are confronted by the clovers at a football game, it goes, all right, he's Cheat. He's got the feet. He can't be beat. He's the best little kitty in town. He's got the claws to take you down. Go, Cheetah. Go, Cheetah. Go, 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 Cheetah. Okay.
Wow. You can really tell that you used to be a cheerleader.
Thank you. Part 2. One of the other songs we sing to him often is a version of, and this is what really got me, My Humps by the Black Eyed Peas. And it goes, what you gonna do with all that load inside that boat? I'm gonna make it float across the moat. My load, my lovely little load. Check him out.
Check him out.
Can you believe it?
And truly highlighting how close My Humps is to a cheer, honestly, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I feel like that era, that, and like there's a Gwen Stefani song,
Yes.
the Bananas one.
Bananas.
Yeah, big time for cheerleading on the top 40 charts.
Wow. Thanks, Jenny.
Thanks, Lauren.
Thanks, Cheetah. I picked
Thanks,
one.
Cheetah.
One of the many.
Thanks, Marm.
Marm. Marm is really cute.
Yeah.
All right. Are you
ready?
Really built us up to this moment, which
I hope
actually no one listening to the podcast will get to experience. But, we'll put it up on Patreon. It takes me a minute, okay? So maybe I'll do this one early. Nobody knows. But for you all live, Jenny, have you sent me a link?
I'm about to. Everyone who's listening after the fact, Kristin is about to watch the trailer for Wicker.
Means nothing to me. Wow, everyone in the chat is losing their minds. So the movie is about how good Wicker is in bed. I just personally feel like, having Wicker as the object of my affection would maybe hurt. Don't you think that would?
Olivia Colman doesn't seem to be bothered.
Want to see what the chat was doing. The weave seems hard to clean. Ashley, I could not agree more. Part of what was going on in my internal monologue was just how are we, what happens if one of them, I've had plenty of baskets in my life and sometimes that shit breaks. What do? Do you slide another weaving and do you go, what's his name? The guy from Game of Thrones who I love?
Yeah, you go back to Peter Dinklage's Wicker hut.
And how is he motorized, run? He has a human heart. It's
magic, passion.
Magic and Wicker. And everybody really wants to see this. This is what I love. I will tell you what I love. I love that Olivia Colman is I actually don't want to fall in love. And it very much does not seem like it's about her falling in love. The trailer of the trailer is true to form, tells me it's very much about fucking. And she just needed to have good sex. And that's what counts for her. And I like that. But I just really have a lot of questions. I'm so sorry, but about his dick. You gotta go. This is what we'll talk about after the Odyssey. Okay. All right.
Tori makes an excellent point. The winds of heterosexuality animate him.
Wow. Yeah, they do. I'm turning into Mallory Rubin. Why? Does Mallory Rubin talk about wicker dicks a lot lately? Probably. That sounds like Mallory, right?
Yeah, I think,
I just feel like there's so many things that could catch on your organs,
Splinters.
Splinters are just pinching, and it just feels like it would not be what you necessarily want. But also, you know what? Perhaps I'll watch the film and find out. Thank you so much, Jenny. So this is taking the internet by storm.
The moment I saw it, Kristin, I knew we had to watch it.
Well, that's what we do here. And right, was regular wood not available? I mean, that's the thing. They make such a big thing out of the wicker of it all that you are to believe that the entirety of him is wicker. But I feel like if you were making a lover for someone, then you might want to use wicker for most of him, but just save something maybe a little smoother for. Yes.
Kristin. Ashley's comment is reminding me. Ashley said, way better than that movie where casual sex is illegal 364 days a year. I have seen this trailer the last 4 or 5 times I've gone to the movies. And my experience of the trailer, I was just okay, it's a rom-com. And they're joking about how the way that it came into my mind was, oh, it's New Year's Eve. And that's why it's everybody's just trying to hook up because it's New Year's Eve. But what is actually happening in this movie is that casual sex between unmarried people is illegal every day except one per year.
Wow.
But it took me seeing the trailer 5 times.
Then you just kind of have to have it. Like, I mean, that's how, at least with my makeup, and I think many people's, it's like, if I can only do it one day and then I can't do it ever again, then I have to do it on that one day.
Must bang.
Whereas, like, if it's legal all the time, I'm probably just never going to do it. But, like, if I know there's only, it's similar to, like, how you sell things, you know, just make it limited supply. Wow. Everyone's talking about different things you can make penises out of. What did old-timey people, and Sophie's not referring to me, use for dildos anyway? Lorena, if tipping the velvet is correct, and I assume it is, since Sarah Waters is a very good researcher, then leather. I mean, you know, like, pretty much there are so many other options that are not wicker woven together.
I just feel like you're really fixating on the wrong thing.
To me, that is what the trailer told me to fixate on.
Okay.
The whole trailer was like, we broke the bed. There's somebody getting murdered. It started with Olivia Colman literally orgasming. I believe I'm focusing on exactly what I've been asked to focus on.
Okay.
Also, Megan said it's textured for her pleasure. And to that I say, it just seems too textured. Too textured for her pleasure. Perhaps a little bit too textured.
Wait, sorry. I just want to say, I think that you should be focusing on Olivia Colman getting fucked by a basket. But I feel like the, like, minutia of, like, what are the mechanics, or, like, what else could they have that feels like the wrong thing to me. The right thing to focus on feels like Olivia Colman gets fucked by a basket.
Sure. Stacy in the chat, too textured, too furious. Wow. Mandy, maybe there's a leather cover for it. This is what I'm talking about. Thank you. Sorry, one more from the chat. Ashley asks, can his body cavity also double as storage? It's nice to have multi-purpose furniture. And you know what? As someone who lives in a small house and who has lived many years in small apartments, I would love for my partner to come with storage.
Totally.
Jenny made me live in a tiny ass apartment with like 14 guitars. You could have probably fit at least 2 guitars inside of yourself.
Okay.
If angled properly. Okay. Anyway, great talk. Chat is going off about ancient dildos, pottery, stone.
And this is the kind of conversation we aim to foster.
Exactly. We're just aiming to make more beautiful sparks happen, just like this one.
Yeah.
Anything else, Jenny? I think this has been a very fun Watcher's Diary Live.
This has been the best. I have no further comment.
Your Honor. I was really excited that you were going to call me Your Honor, and then you didn't. Well, we will see you again. That's it, actually. I think this might be our last Watcher's Diary before we come back with season 3.
Season 3. I can't believe it.
Let me just make sure. I'm checking the calendar. I'm checking the production calendar.
Season 3 is just around the corner.
I gotta see for myself. Watcher's Diary 27, then Buffy versus Dracula, and then season 3, episode 1, Anne, airs according to my schedule on September 2nd, 2026. So that is,
oh my gosh,
really soon.
That means we're gonna have to schedule our little Reddit AMA.
Oh yeah. I know. I feel like we've been very casual about like, yeah, we're coming back with season 3, and usually we're like, this is the day we're coming back. And you know what? Wizened, old, tired. We don't care.
Chill.
We care about coming back,
actually,
but we don't care about doing it the right way.
Freaking out about it.
No. But yeah, we need hot old trees.
Hot old trees.
We will tell you more about all of that and maybe do a Reddit AMA and also probably do a live watch of something in the beginning of season 3. Until then, I guess see you later. That's how we end a Watcher's Diary, right?
Farewell.
Be the hot old tree you want to see in the world.
That's right.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Whitney.
And I'm Katie.
And we're the hosts of True Crime Campfire. We set out to make a true crime podcast we'd want to listen to. We get right to the story. We don't do a lot of extra talking, and when we do, it's usually to roast the short hairs off of some loser murderer or scammer. You'll laugh, but only at the people who deserve it.
Like, which serial killer would you most like to shove into a locker?
BTK and his awful poetry. Dude got caught because he didn't understand what a floppy disk was.
We look for the stranger-than-fiction stories, like the case of Patty James, a killer catfish before the internet was even a thing.
Or Howard Walmsley, a sentient wad of damp laundry who convinced his town he'd won the lottery, fleeced local businesses out of thousands, and then became a romance scammer.
We've covered tons of cases you've never heard of. Cults, scammers, killers.
So come find your next great binge. Listen to True Crime Campfire on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Friday.
Do you ever watch a TV show set in a historical time period and think, how accurate is this really? But also, does it matter if it's accurate or not?
Nefer TV is a new podcast about shows set in ancient times. This season, we're recapping every episode of the show Spartacus, Blood and Sand.
I'm Ann Foster, and I have never seen this show before.
And I'm Gina Berry, and I have watched this show maybe too many times.
Join us every other Monday on the Nefer TV podcast as we discuss the real history behind Spartacus, Blood and Sand.
Follow Nefer TV, that's Nefer TV, wherever you get your podcasts.